Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So I thought I'd have a little catch up this week and share a couple of makes and also a couple of books that I'm on with at the moment, because I know a few of you said you like that, so I thought I'd share those. Now this last week I've made a top. Now I did say that I would make this top in this French terry fabric that I bought a little while ago, and I wasn't quite sure what pattern to go for. So what I've ended up doing, I'll show it you just here straight away, is I've gone for copying an existing top, because I've done this in the past, it works really well, and then I get exactly what I want rather than pinching elements from different patterns and messing around and not ever deciding really which one I want. So I had a plain blue one that I made a while ago, sort of a pale peacock, I suppose you would call it, quite fitted to the body, and I thought I'd make this one a little looser and also change up the neckline. So I have done this neckline before, but I've changed it a little bit more again. So this is the top that I've made. So as you can see, it's loose around the bottom, so I can tuck it in or have it out over jeans or trousers if I want. Now the neckline, I will insert some pictures of it on here so you can see a little bit better. I did wear it yesterday, so I'm not wearing it today, but I'll insert some photographs and then you can see a little clearer. So what I've done is I've cut a notch here down the front and I've backed it on the inside like this. And then I've also done two sort of feature darts here just to pull it open and also give it a little bit of interest. So if you can see just there, the stitching going either side, and that just pulls it back and it pulls open that V without it being sort of a definite V. It's more of a vent, but sort of an open vent. So if you're wearing any jewellery or anything, you can see that quite clearly. So it's really easy to do. And I've also used some bias tape on the inside, so it's got a nice neat finish all the way around the neckline. And the sleeves just sort of hit the crease of the arm, which is just right really, because this is quite thick, and if you're wearing things in the winter and you want to be wearing a jacket, or autumn winter, you want to wear a jacket over the top, sometimes midway sleeves can bunch up and that can be really annoying. So I just find if they just come to the crease of the elbow, they've still got that flexibility in that they feel like they would if you push them up. But they're nice and neat under your jacket, and also if you make them slim but not too tight, they don't bunch up in your sleeve like this. So I find that sort of a nice compromise. And it's so super soft this, so I found it really comfortable to wear yesterday when I had it on. So I'm really pleased with that. So that's another one sort of filling up my gap in solids and plain things, which I've been working on. So I have my sweater to cardigan that I made a couple of weeks ago, and I've been wearing this, and this is really cosy now that it's getting a little bit cooler. And it's just handy to have a few things that are plain and go with my other things, my pattern things. So that's that. I'll just pop that there for now. And then this week I had some fabric left from a dress that I was making for a work project, but it was all sort of in unusual shapes. Now I've decided to make with it, and it's nearly finished. It just needs the sleeves hemming and the frill putting on the bottom, so I'll show you that in a second. About a month ago I think it was, using some navy fabric from my stash, I made the Liberty Alexa Frill dress, and I made it without the frill on the sleeve, again for the same reason that I've just mentioned, is that I didn't want things bunching up when you're wearing coats and jackets with it in the winter. And I just feel that this frill on the sleeve, I like the look of it in the summer, I think it's lovely, but if you wear that and you're wearing cardigans and coats, it just drives you crazy. So I left it off the navy one and I've left it off this one, and I've pretty much done the same thing that I did on the navy one, is that I've kept the frill at the neck and I've also added the frill at the bottom. Well, I haven't, because that's what I've got left to do. I'm adding the frill at the bottom, but I'm just leaving that one off the sleeve, and I will just hem the sleeve. Now I also didn't have a concealed zip in my stash for this dress because they were just leftover fabric pieces, so I did have one just straight up and down zip, and what I've done is I've just put that edge to edge in the back. So I'll show you that now. I'm really pleased that I managed to get this dress out of the fabric, because the skirt's got a frill on the bottom, the pieces are not that long, but you do need 3 of them on the fold, and then because it's got a zip up the back, the bodice pieces at the back, I managed to get them out of sort of small awkward pieces. The front piece was on a fold, but again, I'm not particularly large, so it was easy to get the front piece out. And then the sleeves, I just had to place them on different odd bits that I've got left. And the same with the frill, I managed to have some odd pieces that I could place it on, because you need 3 pieces for the frill. So I've managed to get a dress out of these odd scraps that are left. So I'm delighted because I love this fabric. And as I say, it's not one I've bought. They were sort of random. When you make a project sometimes, and I make these projects for work, because of the way you cut pattern pieces out, you often end up with lots of odd shaped pieces down the sides or like a random bit left at the end. And I try and use them up wherever I can because it's gorgeous fabric and it'd be a shame, and I don't like the waste as well. So it's good to use these up, and it means that I get a new outfit out of it, and I've not had to go out and buy extra fabric. I've just used what I had. So I'm really pleased. So I'll flip it round the camera and you can see, because it's on my mannequin, ready to have the frill put on. So here is my dress. So here is where I've got to so far. Now as you can see, I've just overlocked the sleeves and I just need to hem those. I'll just do a small hem on those. I really like the fit of this dress too. I think it's really pretty. And I've done the frill again on the neck, but I do find with this pattern, it's not very frilly, it's just a slight frill. And what I tend to do is put some stitches at the top just to keep it held there in place. And I sort of do those on the inside and I press it upwards. I've also done a line of top stitching there just to keep it lying flat at the top. And then at the moment it hasn't got its frill on just yet. That's what I've got left to do. So here's my frill ready to go on. So when I finish filming in a moment, I'll just finish that up and do that. And then at the back, you can see it's just got a regular zip in. I'm quite happy with how that's gone. I mean, the colour is perfect. I already had this, so that was ideal. That was meant to be, I think. And I like all the darts and everything on this dress. It makes it really nice. I mean, you can put a hook and eye at the top here if you want on this, but I just like how it just comes to just there. I'm very happy with it. And the little gathers at the top of the sleeve. I think it's a really pretty shape, so I'm really pleased with that, and I love that colour. I mean, that deeper colour is very much me. I mean, I do like the paler one, but I think the deeper one suits me better. So I'm really pleased with that. Now, I also said in a previous video I've been making a few holiday makes for my neighbour now. I've done 2 dresses. I meant to take a picture of the black one before I gave it her, because I did the sort of duck egg blue one, which I showed in a previous video, and then I've done a black one, but I forgot and I've given them to her now. But I am going to be doing a navy one for her as well, and a top and some trousers. So I'll try and remember to take a photograph of those before they go out of the house. So that's that. And then a couple of books that I've been reading this week. So I'm reading 2 at once at the moment, so I do this sometimes. And I think that's mainly when one's not grabbed me entirely and then I start on another one and then I'm sort of in between 2. So I think the thing was with this one, and I did get this from the charity shop, the Cat Rescue, for £1. I was really intrigued by it, The High House. I think it may pick up, but I've just been reading a little bit here and there before I went to bed and not really having a good run of it. So I think maybe I've just not really got into it. But I think the other thing may be that it's a little bit too close for comfort, too close to home at the moment, in that it all starts off this family talking about climate change, and one of the step-parents is a climate change scientist, and there's lots of talk about everything getting worse, a lot of these extreme weather events going on, and it's just so close to like a catastrophe for the world. And this is what's happening in the part that I'm up to, really. And I think I just stopped reading everything that's happening in the world at the moment. It was just a little bit, do I want to be reading this for entertainment when it is just, I don't know, like I say, too close for comfort? And I sort of just stopped and started on the next book that I picked up. So I am going to continue with it, but I think I probably just needed a breather from it, really. And then when I was in the pet rescue charity shop close to home, I saw this one, Mrs. March. And this looked really intriguing and a little bit different, one that I'd probably not usually pick up. So I've started reading this, and I've been reading this one, and she just sounds a little bit of an oddball, this Mrs. March. And I feel it's going to get a little bit gruesome in places, because it says, "Thus begins an increasingly paranoid journey, one that may well uncover both a killer and some long buried secrets from Mrs. March as past." And it says nastily good fun. So what happens is Mrs. March goes into her patisserie that she goes to every day, one day, and she's having a conversation with the lady behind the counter. And Mrs. March's husband is a writer, a famous writer, and his latest book has just come out. It looks like it's going to be a huge success. But the lady in the patisserie says, "Oh, he's based this character on you." And Mrs. March is just horrified, because the character who the lady is referring to apparently is this awful lady, shall we say, with a profession that Mrs. March would not go for herself. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to demonise any professions, but you can get the idea of what this lady does for a living. And she also has got lots of character traits that are quite disgusting, apparently, which makes you think, why would somebody in the local pastry shop say that to someone who has based his character on you if this character is just so awful? So she's thoroughly horrified by this, and she leaves the shop and vows never to come back. And then she's on this journey where she's getting more increasingly paranoid. So they have a party for the book launch and everything at her house, but she's very much all about appearances, so everything has to be perfect, and she's constantly thinking about what everybody's thinking of her, what a beautiful party she's thrown, how amazing she is, how sophisticated. But it just seems like underneath she's really insecure. I suppose a lot of people like that are. And she's just getting more and more paranoid. She's having all these paranoid thoughts. And there's going to be something quite disturbing happen. You just know it from the blurb as well. So as you get further on into the book, I think a sort of secrets are going to emerge. So if you've read this, please do let me know how you got on and what you thought about it. As I said, it's probably one that I wouldn't normally pick up, so that's what I'm trying to do, pick up things that are a little bit different. So I'm carrying on with this one. I'm going to try and get into this one a bit more this weekend, and then I'll carry on with the other one. So that's all for today. I hope to be back soon with more sewing inspiration for you. I have got a few other things planned for the coming weeks and months. I really want to sort of go through the whole house and do a sort of redecorate. I don't usually show anything like that. There's a few upcycle things that I might show furniture wise. So I may film a couple of those. So that's all for today, and I'll be back soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.